Hello there, Trevor here from Double Bill Movies. Right, time for another big screen review. And the film I would like to review tonight is Appointment in London. It's a World War II film and it's on the Studio Canal Classics list. Comes with a lovely slipcover. I do hate that the artwork underneath is just the same. The only artwork that's slightly different is the disc. Quite a nice disc actually. Okay, so the film is about a wing commander that has done 87 missions. Now, for anyone to do even 10 missions is impressive, but to have managed 87 missions is just insane. The Air Force tried to get him to basically stop flying because they think he's done too much, and he sort of says, oh, I'll stop once I get to 90. So the film basically revolves around this kind of concept. It stars Dirk Bogarde. It has Ian Hunter, Dinah Sheridan, and William Sylvester. Plus, you know, many other great actors. The cast was really well put together, and the story really well told. I haven't actually looked up to see how true or accurate any of this is. I should have done, but I just wanted to get this review done. A lot of these World War II films just kind of cover all sorts of things that at some point would have happened or may have happened. Of course, you get your love triangle, you get your sad scenes, and you get your tension scenes and people doing things wrong. One of the flyers is been coming back from missions and sending a telegram, but he's been sending it in code. Turns out that's been to his wife, and the wing commander doesn't really like people flying if they're married, so that's why he was doing it surreptitiously. And he gets a telling off, let's put it that way. So as I said, you don't see all the sort of remaining missions. You see them kind of take off and then come back, because that's just a good way of doing it. It'd be boring if you just went mission after mission after mission. But they, you know, they put little bits of story in there. They come back and he's got a bit of tail wing stuck in the engine and stuff like that, and it's like, wow, okay, there were a few fighters and that sort of thing. So I've got some images I will show you in a minute, but basically the wing commander is about to go on his last mission, and he's doing the mission briefing, which you will see a shot of in a moment. And basically there's a phone call, and one of the bigwigs comes up to him and says, you're not going tonight, that's it, we put our foot down, you're not going. So he's like, okay. So he resigns to the fact that he's not going. But the reason the film is called Appointment in London is that earlier in the film, two pilots had won themselves the Distinguished Flying Cross, the DFC. And wing commander, oh, what was his name? Tim Mason. There we go, Wing Commander Mason. He has earned the DFO, the Distinguished Flying Order. And a month from then, they are to go to Buckingham Palace to receive their medals from the King. So that's where Appointment in London, the name comes from. They are in Squadron 188 up in Lincolnshire, which is, I think, where a lot of the bomber squadrons were based. Spitfires tended to be the south and on the coast, and then up in sort of the Midlands were the bomber groups, and these were Lancaster bombers. So it was a British group, but they did have Canadians and Australians and New Zealanders, and you know, a mixed batch of pilots and bomb aimers and radio men, and because you know these planes hold is it a crew of 10, something like that. You think if I know, being into World War II as much as I am, but it's one of these statistics that just doesn't stay in my mind. I know they hold a lot of people. They have a tail gunner. They'll have a turret gunner, top turret gunner. The bomb aimer will have the nose turret gun, so they can sort of defend themselves. I think it's the B-17 Flying Fortress that has a lot more. They have 2 waist gunners, a top turret gunner, a belly gunner, tail gunner, nose gunner, that sort of thing. But the Lancasters were much bigger and in some respects better planes. A lot of these classic World War II films, and I suppose most films in general, but especially these World War II films, they usually have a big set piece in them. They gear up to something, and this one delivers on that with a big set piece at the end. And I'll leave you to watch it, but what I got from it last night, which I didn't necessarily get from the last time I watched this, I used to have this on DVD, which was one of those Daily Mail free DVDs, and the last time I watched it would have been on my TV. You know, it was still a great film, a great experience, and looking at my score that I'd given it 8 out of 10, excuse me. But having watched it last night on the big screen just lends so much more to the experience. I can't sort of tell you enough how much better this big screen and this projector is making, you know, movie viewing for me. It's just so much more exciting, and so I was really sucked into the film and the tension of the last mission and everything that went on. Basically, to me, so far, this is the closest you'll ever get to going on a bombing run with the crew of a Lancaster bomber. Not so much the Dambusters raid, that's done slightly differently, but the journey they go on, taking off from the base, getting to their certain points where they have to leave markers, and then obviously leading up to the bomb run itself, and you actually for the first time see things from the German perspective. So where you may have seen many RAF films with like Battle of Britain and other films that have Spitfires and Hurricanes and bombers and this, that and the other in, you'll see the plotting rooms where the Germans have been coming over, and you have the ladies with their headsets on and their microphones in front of them, and they're pushing things around the map. Well, we get to see the German version of that, and it's really impressive actually. I don't think it would have been made up just to look spectacular for the movie. I'm pretty sure that's what they would have done. And the good thing is the German actors and the German people portrayed in the film actually speak German, so there are English subtitles that come up on the screen. I definitely prefer that. I can put up with it when they speak English and they don't put on a German accent or anything, but you know, it's not quite as authentic as watching and listening to someone speaking their native language. So so yes, I was really sucked into the film, really felt the tension, and just the size of the image on the screen put me in the plane with them. Well, let's show you some of the shots, shall we? So let me go to my screen recording, and we'll have a look at the images. Right, so there we go. Oops, Oh dear, I don't know why that happened. Trying to get that information off the screen. Right, so there you can see, that's obviously my screen, and so the image is a 1:37:1 image, so it doesn't fill the whole screen obviously, and yes, it's black and white. So obviously, as I always say when I do these images, I try to get my camera to see what my eyes are seeing, because invariably when you hold up a camera phone to an image like this, it will be a really sort of skewed picture. It won't be anything like what I'm actually looking at. Now, it's quite a heavily grainy film, but I also noticed on this particular Blu-ray some video noise. So to me, the grain, instead of just doing its thing, it kind of sometimes it went around the screen, and that to me was to do with sort of compression, I suppose, in the authoring part of it, not the grain of the film. So if a 4K ever comes out of this, I would imagine that would be much improved and the grain won't look quite so heavy. Okay, so they're just sorting out some bombs here and having a bit of a chinwag about certain things on this particular image. Well, there you go. That's the DVD, and that's the tea. I had a cup of tea, RAF tea, last night to go with the film. So if I go this way, there we go. So there's a Lancaster. If I zoom in. Oh, come on, phone. There we go. So its Bombay doors are open. And there's a whole string of planes, as you can see. Me pointing at the screen, but you can't see me pointing at the screen, so that's pointless. But yeah, so this is the briefing I was telling you about. So the shot composition, basically the way that the director of photography, the cameraman, has set up the shots, to me was done for the big screen. You know, there's lots of people in here, there's the huge map in the background, and the lights is very tall ceiling, so you've got the lights hanging from the ceiling as well, and yeah, there's just a lot of information there, and it really looked nice on the big screen. Now there is actually more detail when I'm watching the film than what this camera has picked up, but I've managed to get a fair amount. As you can see, it's a pretty big image. So that's the route they took. There's the UK, basically, an island, and you can see the route that the bombers took on this particular mission. I think I've got a slightly closer, and you can see the size of the ladder there. Yeah, so again, you know, you imagine this on a TV, well, you're seeing it on your TV now, and kind of how small it looks. So to blow it up on a big screen is really nice. Of course, I would like to see this in a proper cinema. That's me just taking a few shots. I think I tried some different things there. And there we go. So this is Tim Mason, Wing Commander Tim Mason, Dirk Bogarde playing his role just before he gets told that he's not going to fly, which obviously annoys him somewhat. But you know, you have to watch the film and find out what happens, won't you? But so all sorts of information on this board. The word bulldozer was actually part of what they had to do. That was a specific word used in the mission, and that's me. So yeah, I thought I took a few more varied images in that rather than just some the same. So this is just me trying out I think that's the one I took where I thought it had the better setting. Yeah, let's zoom in on that. Is the detail. Oh yes, see, it's much clearer, this particular picture. So there you go, back to full size me. So there we have it, the brand new restoration Blu-ray of An Appointment in London. The audio that's on the disc is 2-channel mono LPCM, linear pulse code modulator, and it sounded really nice actually. I was quite impressed with how clear everything was, but it still sounded like an old school film, an old black and white film. It didn't sound too modern or anything. It didn't sound out of place. It was just nice. All the dialogue was clear, the sound effects were clear, and you could hear everything you needed to. There's not really much else to say on that, so I hope you enjoyed that video. Please give it a thumbs up. It's the thumbs up that helps get these videos out there for other people to see. Makes it randomly pop up in their feed, and hopefully they discover my channel. If you're new to the channel, please subscribe, and that way you can follow me on this journey of looking at different kinds of movies, double bills, and all the other kind of things that I do on my channel. I have quite a variation of content if you check my playlists, but make sure you set your notifications to all if you don't want to miss any of my videos. And so yes, that was a big screen review. This is Double Bill Movies, and I'll see you in the next video, so take it easy.